Okay, so I'm going to be explaining fractal superintelligence. Um, I drew this diagram. It's like now the thing is that this box is a configuration of a network, and this dot down here is an action object. It's what the AI is acting upon. Now it gives feedback to the perception, and then the perception tells the network that it should change based off of what the feedback is, whether it's um, moving forward or not. Because the thing is that the AI, its basic motivation is to keep doing stuff, and if it's not doing stuff, it it then the basic loop is that are if you are doing something and it's not working, you should change your network. You should change the connections in your network. That's the basic thing. Now right here where it goes back into itself for the loop. Now that's a little bit different, because that's that has to do with hypothesis testing. Now, with hypothesis testing, um, there is, like, for example, if you have a branches off into a network, the network branches off into many different things. It could be in all sorts of configurations. How does it pick the one that's right? And the way it does that is it falls into place. And it falls into place by saying, okay, we're going to arrange the network so that when it encounters something new, it can absorb it and integrate that perception and action into a let's say it absorbs it, and then I lost my train of thought. But anyway, what it does is it's configured so that if it encounters it changes so that it hierarchically represents knowledge of perceptions and actions, and it represents new perceptions and actions as hypotheses, as a new network structure, and it confirms it or it denies it, it rejects it. It confirms or rejects it. So the thing is that when we interpret our perceptions and stuff like that, we rearrange ourselves so that we can hold more volumes of information. So the thing is that, like, if you show an AI a picture of a soccer ball, and then you show the picture of a duck, then the thing is it's going to confuse those things, and it's going to catastrophically forget. It's going to not keep those two things in its mind at the same time. You see, we as human beings, our basic intelligence is to keep several things in our heads at the same time. That's why we're able to recognize over 1 million images. Like there's been people that eidetic memory. People memorize everything. It used to be like when the hunter-gatherers, they would memorize the entire places they went to in their entire lives. And so the thing is that keeping those things in your head at the same time, keeping things in your head at the same time, all those things in your head at the same time. That's what this does. That's what this does, is that you create defaults. If you recognize something, you don't change your brain. But if you recognize something, you have to have a place to put it, and those are the hypotheses. Hypotheses in the branches of the brain cells that go out and rake in all those new perceptions and actions. And so what my idea does is it uses a fractal to do that. Now, a fractal is basically just looping into itself. You know, it's a recurrence, fractal recurrence. And so the thing is that when it loops into itself, it creates hypotheses all the way down, from the micro level to the macro level of the hierarchy of the network. So when that happens, the fractal superintelligence creates hypotheses so that it can store new information with the old information that's had with, and store multiple things at the same time in the same space volume of the network. And so that's what it does, is that it says at the most basic level, at the most basic level, if you see the arrows, now the arrows start off it starts right there. Now the thing is that when it does that, the hypotheses are going in. It starts there, and then merges with the hypotheses from above, and then once it says, okay, we confirmed that, we don't have to change, or we deny that, so we have to change. So we send a signal upward to change. Say you had to change your hypotheses. And we send signals downward saying that, oh, we have hypotheses of our own now that we connected the dots. And so that's how it changes. Is that what it does, it says confirm. It either confirms the hypotheses or rejects the hypotheses, and that's at all levels of the fractal. And once that happens, it can take actions. So it says, okay, so we've learned how to become an auto mechanic, and we know all the ways of doing things in an auto mechanic type way. And so when we come up to a new problem, we can generate hypotheses from all the knowledge that we know previously. And so the thing is that that would mean creating layers. So the thing is that what you learned is at the bottom, and the hypotheses are at the top, and the hypotheses filter downward, and the confirm or denial is going upward. So that's how you learn things, and it fills up with knowledge going upward. And so that's my idea for fractal intelligence. And so I believe that this idea is something that well, the thing is, it's not. It would work in any any type of agent, so you put in an agent with certain parameters of actuators and perceptions, you get the kind of intelligence you have. You see, so our brains use hypothesis. So we have certain areas of our brain that generate hypotheses, and once they generate hypotheses, we use our hands, and and our frontal lobes and our back of the brain, and everything's going switch, 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 back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, side to side, side to side, and so that's how that works. Is that like if you're a dog or you're a bird, you would or octopus, you would your actuators would be different. But the thing is that it's still a mammal brain is different from a squid brain. So I guess that's what we would have to compare if we were to go what's alien to what's human. But humans have fingers, um, so I guess that with humans the brain is the brain of a human. mm, it's trying to manipulate things. So it's like it has a pen. It has a pen, and it goes into your eyes, and then you draw. And so the thing is that there's a feedback loop. So the fractal superintelligence is a feedback loop. But the thing is that it's a different kind of feedback loop because you don't have all the 3D-ness of it. You see my picture is 2D, so it would work in a 2D type way, but you have to redesign it in a whole different fashion if you're being 3D and it wasn't the same as the human brain. So if you create a network that wasn't like the human brain yet still was in a human body, it would be a little bit different. So, but it's good on paper because it may be linear in the image, but it's still 3D in volume and what you are able to accomplish in a 3D environment. Lots of AI have toy games, and it's not really 3D, and so it's like it's not really going to generate anything significant.